is now and ever shall be, world without end.
I find it very satisfying to affirm death as nature's way of making room for others, to give others a few years of life on this beautiful earth, and to allow us the joy of sharing life with our children, grandchildren, and others. As a natural thing, death cannot be evil, it simply is. The poet, for there is no life except life which comes from life. Waters flow where daisies grew, trees grow where swans once swam. All things upon this earth are developing into new things. From what is here must come what is to be. There is no other material. This is the fulfillment of the promise of life. Nothing can be destroyed. Everything is being created. The corollary of acceptance of death as a natural thing is a sense of life continuing in the great living whole. Here and in this mighty stream, we too flow on, not lost, but each eternally significant. For this I feel the Spirit never betrays who trusts it. Physical life may be defeated.
My dad was someone who took his responsibilities as a father, as a husband, as a friend, to his community very seriously, and he expected others to do so as well. He valued, like I said, his family, his love for me, which wasn't always warm and fuzzy, but at other times it could be. But I think the one thing that is really a blessing is my father held a higher vision for me when I was not able to have that for myself. The other part would be that my father could find humor in almost any situation. Whether it was his own health and failing health, times that he would, at church, I would sit here and he'd squeeze my thigh, knowing that fully I couldn't shout out and hit him. And then sort of look at me with a little devilish grin in his eye. These are just a few of many stories about my dad that I will always treasure. And I'm very blessed to be his daughter.
This is more of a kind of thoughts that occurred to me. How to survive the death of a father. Cry whenever the wave of grief hits you. Expect him to walk through the door. Spend as much time with mom as you can handle, realizing that their quirks and family dynamics are why you didn't spend as much time with dad as you wished you had. Eat butter crunch ice cream. Get your own affairs in order. Listen to the stories his friends and family tell about it. Tell a few yourself. About to exercise more, eat healthier, meditate. Walk his dog. Consider how in the age of reality TV and YouTube, a man with no press got it so right. Cry as you write this. Play his jazz, pay his bills. Don't fight the memories of him, don't push them either. Be the man he was, even though you're a woman. Be chagrined when you start saying his platitudes to your daughter. You know, the ones that drove you nuts when you were a kid.
his nephew drank the last of his busted out island whiskey and forgot to put it back.
It was a little bit fussy. And so John and Ann had a thing called a swing-o-matic. And John brought it out and set it up, and it was this big sort of A-frame thing with a seat in the middle of it. And then it had a crank that you wound up, and every time you wound it up, Eric would go. But it worked, and he fell asleep. And then as Neil Armstrong was about to step on the moon, I was taking little Eric, because of course I mean, he had to see the moon landing, right?
My name is Alan Heigert, and we are John's men's group that you've been hearing about. John, as you've also heard, had been active in men's programming in this church for the better part of 30 years. He originally was part of the men's group that was started by Chuck Malowski in the church for the first half of that.